Okay.
How did you even recognize each other?
Well, we're both like really avid social media users. So I'm telling the story about me and Bosco.
Meeting in the airport.
Bosco and I now have a podcast called B Squared Social Jam. We started off by just like, well, I'll hear. So rewind, I moved to Pemberton in 2012, but I was very active in the Vancouver networking circuit.
And it's where we met. So it must have been like 2011 because I can't believe we've known each other that long.
I was in Vancouver from 2008 till 2012 before moving to Pemberton.
I saw you speak at Matt Astafan's event.
Cool. Oh, wow. Yeah. So that was a long time ago. Yeah. And so anyways, I knew people in the social media world, especially people who were really also on the circuit, but also speakers and educators. So Matt and Bosco, but I didn't know Bosco well, but we both are unique. Like his name's Bosco and, you know, he stands out, and my name is Blair and I'm really loud. Like, you know, I'm not a wallflower.
You guys are like opposites in a good way. Like,
yeah. So, but we never really met Matt. Maybe we did. He might be able to clarify that.
Because he's like 6'5" and you're what, 5'3" too?
5'1".
5'1". You're about the same size as my daughter.
Anyways, we, my now husband, at the time he's my boyfriend, and I went to Hawaii years ago, and we ran into Bosco in the Maui airport. Like, he obviously was on the same flight, but I didn't see him, which is also weird, but
I think that's when he was working on one of his books.
So. Yeah, I have no idea, but I ran into him in Maui, and then long story short, we somehow reconnected, and we ended up being on a panel together this year for the Elevate Marketing Summit. We were on a live panel, and so he and I connected before, and he updated me. We did a catch up, and I think it was like the first time we've actually really, like, we've never gone for coffee or anything, and we just jive and we have a good vibe together. So we decided, like, let's get together and like, let's jam, let's record it, see what happens. And I was like, let's call it the B Squared Social Jam, and we started making videos. And then he's like, and then we've only done 3, but we do it once a week on Friday for me, Saturday for him, and
we're
taking that audio and we're making a podcast. So we talk about social media, business, kind of what's up, what we're up to. I usually make some sort of inappropriate comment or joke.
Excellent. I love it.
And we talk about what we're binging or what we're watching, and it's so far really
good because we just launched the Canadian Podcasting Association. So we're teaching and bringing together. It's unbelievable how few Canadian podcasts, because we're pulling together the stats for it, right? So we got it all pulled together. There aren't that many of us, believe it or not.
Well, I'm actually also in the middle of another podcast that I'm starting. It was my goal to start a podcast for the I'm Resilient project.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't originally the plan that I'm actually executing. I kind of like when I just do things out of passion and then something becomes of it.
Yeah.
And so what I've started doing is 2 to 3 times a week, I've been interviewing different professionals or humans going through stuff. So therapists, new mothers, whatnot. And I do about a 10-minute interview, connecting with people from around the world to talk about like the current situation, tips and tools to move through it. And I'm taking that audio and I'm going to use that audio to make a podcast for the I'm Resilient project.
Awesome. Which is why we are here today, because you're going to be our keynote speaker for the ladies meeting. It's Sunday morning. I'm in Whistler. You're in Pemberton. How is the weather there? Cheers.
I see the mountain, but there are clouds. I have a really beautiful view of Mount Currie from my office. Mount Currie she's beautiful. But yeah, it looks like it's probably going to rain off and on all day. But after this, I'm going to go for a little walk. And then I saw the sun's coming out later, and I'm going to go on a bike ride.
Oh, well, that's good to know. I have a couple people that need to go on a distance walk. So
yeah, I have the Weather Network app, and it tells you by the hour. And I believe it's true, whether it is or isn't.
Well, I don't think it's really funny. I'm from Abbotsford originally, where we're used to 8 to 10 months of rain. Well, I'm exaggerating, but like yesterday raining, I was like, oh my God, I can get my gumboots out. Oh, the rain's gone already.
I've never heard the term gumboots until I moved to BC, because I'm from Manitoba, where it's sunny, but either really hot or really cold, or really mosquito-y or really floody. But anyways, Pemberton, what I love about Pemberton is that winter comes later than I'm used to. And then I get really right when I'm really over winter, it disappears.
Yeah. But what I miss is that you guys can start, my seeds are just they're like, okay, finally we'll grow. And I've got them in the house right now, and I'm waiting for my garden plot to, but we won't be able to plant anything outside till May. Whereas you guys, I'm pretty sure, can already start planting.
Yeah. And I've actually I'm working with one of my friends to help me. I'm planting a flower garden, because I'm very like I'm making my office a jungle, as you can see. It's slowly junglifying.
It's been great. There's more plants every time I see you online.
Yeah, but I just don't really know how to, like, I don't have a green thumb. I'm not very domestic. So I have a friend who's very into gardening. Her name is Mish. She's going to help me with my garden. Probably any day now, she'll tell me what I need to go buy. And she's going to actually teach me. So I'm really excited.
What I think you need? You need spider plants.
Oh, actually.
Because they're going to grow on
you know.
Oh, perfect. Because
so they were a lot bigger. And I learned that one of my cats likes the taste of spider plants. And so he ate both of them. So what I do now is I keep my office door closed. Duffy's only allowed in here while being supervised. And I've actually, like, they're doing really well. And so I can't wait till they grow and propagate. And like spider plants is probably going to be my main jive.
Oh, please. I want to adopt one when you have a spider plant baby, please.
Because I was so excited because I finally had a baby. And I was so excited. Like, I put it on my Instagram story. So I'm Blair from Blairland on Instagram, but I was so excited. And then I hear like the sound of a cat like batting stuff around. I'm like, oh God.
It would be the perfect cat toy.
And then he comes out of my office with the baby in his mouth. I'm like, okay. I was so excited that I made my plant made a baby because like I never get that far. So now the office door is always closed.
I used to have a basement room when I was a kid. And so I had this strip window at the top and I had spider plants all along it. And then the babies would come down.
Yeah. So that's like right now they're on my windowsill. And then like once I get more, once they propagate, I have some shelving in my office. Like my office is like no man's land. We pretty much like did a big reno of the house and painted everything. But the office still has like the original yellow paint and a bunch of ski posters up from Shane. And like he likes to have like one nice piece of art on a wall where I'm like collaging the walls with memories.
Yeah.
Like I have lots of really awesome like memories up. And so it's my space, my creative space.
I always used to use my mom, just to torture young child in small town Canada. I used to order Vogue magazine and Vogue material, which to this day explains why I dream like way too big.
And so I would cut out dreaming too big.
Vogue magazine in 100 Mile in the early 80s. Yeah, it was a bit weird. It's like, like how can I make this happen? Vogue magazine. And I would make literally floor to ceiling collages out of these magazines. It was so before
I used to buy magazines and pull out ads, like Got Milk ads. My whole room was collaged.
You were meant to be in marketing and PR.
Same with you.
Well, you're Blair Kaplan Communications. I'm the communication studio. So
what do you know?
What do you know? But to get on track, we are here because you are going to be our first keynote out of 2, and Gina Best as well, on the ladies meeting on Tuesday. It's going to be a full day. I'm going to start doing a 30-day we're going to redo our 30-day challenge we started of Miracle Morning at 6:30 a.m. again. So if anyone wants to do Miracle Morning, Hal Elrod, 30 days of savers, silence, affirmations, visualizations, exercise, reading, and scribing every morning. You can do it in 6 minutes or 60 minutes, doesn't matter. And we're going to do a workshop with Maggie. She's going to do that on Raise Your Vibration. We've been planning that. It's super fun. And then I'll be doing our co-working, which is Coffee House Network, which is normally a podcast and co-working. We do live up in Whistler, but obviously we can't do live things anymore right now. So we've taken the co-working online, and every week, what's really cool is every week it's doubling. So we've got 11 people this week. We had 5 people the week before that. We just had a couple weeks. So, and I've got more and more people coming online. So that's really exciting. So we come on, we talk for 15 minutes. We go into a collaborative space, one-on-one, and then everybody works for an hour and then goes back and we set some goals for the next week. So that's growing, which is cool. And then we are going to have Blair as our keynote speaker. And would you like to tell us a little bit about your topic?
Well, one of my favorite words is resilience. So I'm going to be talking about resilience, sharing a bit of my journey about how I've kind of harnessed the power of being resilient, and talk about ways that you can build up your resilience muscle.
And maybe could you share a little story about how this all happened? Like where it started? At least I know you have a few, but maybe just
so I created something called the I Am Resilient Project. I am a creator. I'm not someone who, I'm someone who just creates. And then if there's a viable business or project, like if there's some sort of substance, I keep going. Sometimes it's like,
I don't know anyone like that.
Yeah. So sometimes I might just like write a poem and that's that. But sometimes ideas build upon ideas and they grow into something really beautiful. And so at the end of 2018, I learned that my father was terminally ill. And my relationship with my father for most of my life was quite strained because he lives with addiction. And I was really close with him as a little girl, and he ended up leaving the family because he was sick. But I didn't understand that, and I thought he more abandoned me. And so in my 20s, I decided to forgive him. I decided to really just accept whatever he can give me and stop putting the pressure on myself and him to give me this relationship that I thought I wanted. Because that you'd see on TV. I wanted the Disney dad or the Full House dad, and I never had that.
And I think it's a decision, and it's such a beautiful decision.
Yeah. And I mean, like, you forgive or you accept. I forgave. And we started to build a really beautiful relationship. And so it was in my 20s when I started to become close with my dad. However, we live in different parts of Canada. And so, yeah, I mean, it was just cool because I never thought my dad would be at my wedding, and he got to walk me down the aisle with my mom. And, you know, being able to eventually give my dad the gift of being a grandfather. Like, I know it's one of his, like, he wants to be a Zeta. And he's not the typical grandfather or the typical father, but he's really special. You know, both my parents are amazing. But so I get to know my dad, and we really build this beautiful relationship. I'm excited to now have him back in my life. He's only in his early 60s. So I think he's going to be around at least a couple more decades. And I find out that his chronic pulmonary obstructive disorder, his COPD, is in the end stages, and that without a lung transplant, which he's not eligible for, he has limited time left. And it just really hit me like a truck. Like it really devastated me. And so when I went into 2019, I decided my word for the year was going to be resilient, and that my dad and I I started to just accept and also talk more with my dad, but also share my story of forgiveness and resilience. And what was happening was, as I was sharing my story with people about my relationship with my dad and how we've come so far and where we're at, it was inspiring people. People were feeling empowered to go and heal relationships with their parents, or go to seek therapy, or make little changes, or see someone in their life who has addiction, see them a bit differently. And I think it was really powerful and really special. And I didn't realize that I was not only like telling my story was helping me heal, but it was helping other people begin their healing journey. And so my father and I decided that our story, you know, like his legacy and our story, the way we're going to end our relationship, like on earth, I guess, is we want to empower others. We want this silver lining to be that, you know, relationships are mendable, and look at us, and what can we do to help you? And we've been on the radio on CBC Manitoba to talk about it. I've done a bunch of keynotes. And then I started the I Am Resilient project, where I'm gathering other people's stories of resilience. You can submit them on the website, which is imresilient.info. The stories get published on social media, on the website. We're working on a book. And then we've just started working on a podcast where we do videos on our Facebook page, and the audio is going to be, you know, compiled together depending on how this unfolds into a podcast. And it's just really cool. And the book is a big legacy piece for me and my father. You know, I think everyone's story deserves to be told. There's a lot of power in sharing your story. And I've learned along the way a lot of really great tools to help me be resilient. Which I've had to use a lot this year because I've had a lot of things go sideways.
Yeah.
But I still, you know, I'm healthy, I'm happy, and I try to see the world with the glass half full.
And it does take, and it takes, I think what you're teaching people too is that it takes, I don't know, from my experience, because I have a family member that we don't connect, and it really hurts. But doing this meditation, it's funny, I had a breakthrough with doing this meditation of forgiveness, and I forgive you, you forgive me, and just mentally doing it. And it's amazing. It took a couple months of doing that every day to just release that energy. And so you've shown people a path of something that they can do to make a difference, even though maybe the other person, you're lucky your father engaged, right? But you decided
like
your way, and because you just made the decision, the engagement happened probably.
And you know, every relationship's different. Sometimes it takes one person to make that step, and the other person may be receptive and they may not be, and that's okay. You need to figure out what you need to do in order for you to move forward. But I lived with so much anger and hate, and like hate for myself and sadness and like no trust in men. I was dating the wrong men before I met my husband, and like I didn't respect myself, and it was all because of a lot of it was because of my relationship with my father, and I had abandonment issues and trust issues, but I needed to do this for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I said, I will accept whatever relationship you can give me. But then we started talking, and he started coming to visit me in Vancouver, like
And I think
drive.
that's the magic piece, is you decided to do it no matter what you would get in return.
Exactly. I didn't have any expectations. Where my whole time with him, from when my parents divorced when I was 7 or 8, I had all this anger and resentment because I had this vision of what I thought he should be. But as soon as I let go of what he should be and just accept him for who he is when the relationship really started.
It's so cool.
I'm excited for him to see this. He's in Winnipeg and he's sick, so he's at home because he's at risk. And I don't know, stuff like this makes him really proud and makes my mom really proud. And I mean, our story is really, really beautiful. I mean, there was a lot of not beautiful. It's like a Disney movie. Like, it's beautiful, then it's really dark, and then like beautiful, but then sad. And
stepmother.
Yeah, no stepmothers, no stepfathers, a real sister.
Sorry, we didn't have evil stepmother. We had good stepmother.
Yeah. No.
Just in case anyone's listening, there was no evil stepmother.
So on Tuesday, I'm going to share different ways that some of them are even scientifically proven on ways to build resilience. I'm going to talk about some things I've been doing for years that I was doing before I even knew it was building resilience. And it's a discussion. I want to be there to help you.
And I think once people can discover what some of those simple tools are and build them into their daily life and build a habit of it, they'll start to see a difference in their personal life as well, and build better relationships, and more importantly, better relationships with ourselves.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a key part.
Like, it's been a journey. It doesn't happen overnight, but I've made some big changes in my life. I cut out alcohol. It's been like 15 or 16 months, like January 1st, 2019. I woke up on New Year's to an apology letter from my dad, which I'm actually going to read out on Tuesday. A really beautiful letter. My last drink was December 31st, 2018. I'm not an alcoholic, but I was using alcohol as a way to numb my pain, I guess. And I wasn't drinking all the time, but it just wasn't serving me. I have anxiety. I made changes in the way I eat. Sleep is a priority. Physical movement is a priority. Like, I've just made some big shifts in my life that have really helped me.
And I've got to see from a distance, I know, because we just run into each other, randomly, magically. And I didn't know what was going on in the background, but it was a very visible change, and a very, I could see more light coming from you, I guess is probably a better.
Thank you. Yeah. I mean, I do my best. Like, when I get really like stoked about how good I'm feeling, the universe tests me. So
does it ever?
Yeah.
know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I'll share about my year. I've had quite the year, and like where I think like maybe it's really not that bad. And then I get reminded by like people in my life, like, well, you've had a really hard year.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough, girl.
So, yeah, well, I'll dive into all the juicy details on Tuesday. And, life is just a journey. And I believe in, you got to keep moving forward, heel toe, left, right, heel toe, left, right. Micro steps are important. Nano steps are important.
I call it falling forward.
Yeah. I call it failing forward, but there's no failing.
There is no failing. I just keep tripping forward, and I just catch myself as I keep going along.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you on Tuesday. I want to thank you for being part of my soul circle, because we just keep running into we can't seem to we're just always crossing paths, just like Bosco, just like a few other people in my life. Thanks for always showing up and being part of the soul circle, and look forward to talk to you on Tuesday. We'll do it.
Well, thank you. I'm excited.
Okay. Take care. Have an amazing day out in the sunshine.
Bye.
And the rain shine.
The rain shine.